Hello, this video is for my 8th grade students, and it is about our assignment. The short title was Chapter 4, Advantages and Allies. The full title is Chapter 1, 4.1 and 4.2, The American Revolution, Advantages and Allies. It's due today, but I'm hoping this video will help you guys complete it if I post it in a timely fashion. So, we went over all this together. Keep in mind your criteria for success, super important. Make sure you guys read that. Those are your objectives for today. We're going to be looking at the second one because we walked through the first one in class. Important vocabulary. Make sure you guys read over those. You can always pause the video, read the vocab real quick, and then continue. So we walked through this one in class, looking at what are the best British advantages, citing directly from the text. We looked at this one, what are reasons Americans stayed loyal? So why do some not join the revolution? Again, directly from the text. For this one, you were explaining to me, you're finding a reason they stayed loyal, and then you're explaining why that's a good reason. So the loyalists actually had some understandable reasons for not wanting to break away from Britain, and you're just going to explain that in your own words to the best of your ability. Advantage of the Patriots. So now we're looking at the American people fighting for independence. You're going to cite directly from the text, telling me what are the best Patriot advantages. Then part 3, and this ties in, if I go all the way back, compare and contrast the advantages of the British and the advantages of the Patriots. So this is the big thing that we want to do to complete our criteria for success, right? How will you be successful? You want to be able to do 5 and 6. You're going to go back and look at your cited evidence from question 1 and question 4, and you're going to list one advantage for the British and one for the Patriots from those previous questions, and you're just going to transfer them down here. Once you have those 2 ones that you think are the best 2, you're going to do question 6. Use the evidence you collected above. Which side do you think have the bigger advantage and why? Explain in your own words and in 1 sentence. Part 4, Saratoga. Now, I tried to, because of our time constraints, me only seeing you guys every other day, and I know it's been tough. You guys are loaded up with homework. So instead of having you read a bunch of pages by yourself, I did a summary of 8 pages in a paragraph. By the time of the Battle of Saratoga, October 1777, the war had been going on for a year and a half. The American Patriots had a few small victories, but overall the war was not looking good for them. George Washington was leading the army, but they were not well trained and soldiers deserted, meaning they ran away from the army back home. The British had taken 2 of the most important American cities, New York and Philadelphia. New York was an important port city for trade, so a lot of money coming in there. Philadelphia is where the Congress had met before and was sort of a semi-capital for the Americans. Philadelphia, incredibly important city for the Patriots. The Americans did not have an important victory, or the Americans did have an important victory at Trenton and Princeton, where Washington snuck his army behind the enemy by crossing the Delaware River and attacked the British camp. There's a famous painting right here of Washington and his soldiers crossing the Delaware. However, the Americans had not yet defeated the British in a real face-to-face battle. And the reason I bring that up is because he sneaks his army around. The British are not expecting it's a surprise attack. It was good strategy, but it wasn't a face-to-face fight. So you're going to read about Saratoga. Question 7 is optional if you need some help to organize your ideas. What was the outcome of Saratoga? 8, how do you think the Continental's army at Saratoga might change the course of the war? So make sure you use that context I just read out loud. You write 1 sentence. Now we're to gaining allies. So for this one, sorry because I'm running low on time, so I'm going a little quicker. You're going to complete the table by identifying the effects of the Battle of Saratoga on each European country. You have 2 countries. What was the effect on France? What was the effect on Spain? You guys will cite directly from the text for each country. So Saratoga happens. How do these 2 countries react? You're going to learn about these 2 people, these 2 individuals that help, Frederick von Steuben and I always forget, Juan de Morales. So a guy from Germany, or Prussia at the time, and a Spanish man. You're going to look at how these 2 guys help. So complete the table by citing evidence to explain how people from different countries help the American Patriots. Very similar to the one above. Lastly, your exit ticket. You're going to rate yourself on if you feel like you accomplished it or if you did not accomplish it, and you're going to tell